Welcome to today's video. I hope everyone's well. We are in the living room for your Q&A with Mr. Thorburn. I thought I'd do something a little bit different. We've got some good questions. I actually put this out last night and I've got 7 pages worth of questions, so I really appreciate everyone asking the questions and I hope you enjoy. We're going to have a bit of fun with it, but we're also going to answer some questions and provide some value as well. I think best of both worlds, entertainment, some value. Some. The first question, how did we meet? That's how we'll start. How did we meet? It was before my prep.
The problem is, with a lot of like the social media age, you almost feel like you know someone and you've never met them.
I don't know when we actually first directly met though. I think it probably was in my prep of some sort.
I thought it was when you compete. I thought it was the day you competed at the Southern UK DFBA. Was it?
Could have been. I generally can't remember. But we were speaking before online. We used to follow each other online, didn't we? So we've always known of each other, and then all of a sudden we started going bodybuilding shows together. Then we just started talking more, and then.
Yeah, I think me and you, we always bump into each other at shows. I think that's probably where...
We used to sit with each other at shows. We used to go to the same show. You go to this show.
Similar sort of attitude.
Yeah, fucking abusing. You're shit! You're fucking shit!
Football hooligan antics in a bodybuilding crowd.
So yeah, that's when we... I think that's when we first got to know each other. And now all of a sudden, in 2022, we're fucking living with each other. We might as well marry each other at this point. That's where it's going, isn't it?
Best and worst thing about the North. So obviously we've been up here for a month now, which seems crazy. We've been up here 4 weeks already, so we can kind of formulate a bit of an opinion.
It's just the freedom. It's just the I love freedom. Like I always say, freedom's priceless. Can't put a price on freedom. And like for me to do what I want when I like, I love it. I just love it. And I feel like for me, it's just taking things to that sort of next level when it comes to bodybuilding, career. And just happiness. Like you've probably seen the videos as well. I'm a lot happier since I've been up here. Diesel, bruv, come on. That's what I say. The first thing. Worst thing. What's your best thing first? I need to think about my worst thing.
Best thing, even though I wasn't exactly south of England before. I was in South Wales, but everyone's very nice up here.
Talkative as fuck.
Like I haven't had a bad word to say about the people who, like everyone's so lovely. Everyone seems to be really chilled, laid back, not in a rush to do anything. And I've noticed that even more so in the car. Everyone's like bang on speed limit, just doors around everywhere. No one's got places to be. So
that's what I've noticed as well on the motorway. Just like everyone's chilling. You don't see everyone fucking whizzing past.
I have never seen someone do that. Yeah, especially from like where south of England, where everyone's like non-stop.
Think about the worst for me since being up here is I have more responsibilities now. I just have to learn to deal with them responsibilities. Like I'm so used to my parents doing my washing, cleaning, this and that, like little things that you would not necessarily do back at home. I spend less time relaxing. I'm more doing this, more doing that, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just kind of adjusting to that sort of having to do stuff on your own sort of
thing. Just little things, isn't it?
Because when we first moved up here, our parents bought us like little things and stuff that I think they usually would do, like even just like fucking kitchen roll, washing up liquid that you wouldn't necessarily buy yourself. And now I'm thinking, fucking need to go out and buy this, buy that sort of thing. But okay, we go for a serious one now. Advice on relatively new coach gaining clients.
I think something that I've recently been picking up on my own, like for myself as well, is you've got to put stuff out there. You might know everything under the sun, but unless other people see your knowledge or your enthusiasm and stuff, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like, so you might know everything, but unless you put it out there that you know it, what's the point?
I would say I agree on that one. I think results is very a results bit driven business, but I would also say like people invest into you as well as a person. They don't just invest into you because you know everything. They also want to see, well, I like his lifestyle, I like what he does. If you're showcasing your journey, like you watch me because you see what I do and you like it. Like if you're not posting Instagram already, you should be. Get yourself on TikTok, Reels, the algorithm on TikTok. You can get one that blows up. Got 3.4 million views on a TikTok a few months back. Crazy,
I think how many probably clients that might have translated into.
And how many people from that are watching my YouTube videos now? And eventually, like people message me or email me saying, I've been watching your channel for years. I'm going to invest into you as a coach. So the way I see it is people think short term, like they always think now, but think about what you were doing a couple of years ago. Think back to when you was first watching me and now you're invested into me because you've followed the journey for so long. So it's just that sort of process as well, which I think a lot of people lack. Because they see YouTube and they think, like I'm not making any money from YouTube. Don't look at it like that. Look at it as an opportunity for you to expand your business and gain more clients through doing that.
I remember it wasn't that long ago that you were thinking of sacking it off.
Yeah,
there was a period, maybe a year.
I didn't post for like 3 months.
A year and a bit ago, you were not posting. I remember it because you completely like gone off it. You hadn't posted anything, and you were thinking, I'm not making any money off it. What's the point?
Yeah. That was exactly my mindset, and
now it's this complete stark opposite. You're kind of going all in on it, because you saw that there is value to it, because I remember you making a post about it. I think it's paying off for you as well.
I don't look at it for the money. Like, I spend more on the content than I do from making. I don't make much from YouTube at all, but sometimes, like you say, you want to get something out of it, you have to invest, you know.
Are we going serious, or
do whatever you want, mate?
Do you guys hear each other shagging?
Yes. Yeah. It was firstly you that started it, because obviously you got misses and that, so I started hearing that and I was like, go on, Jack, go on.
I think we kind of need to make an agreement in the fact that I'll go out on a limb and say, I don't give a fuck if I hear you.
Yeah. That's what I said to you the other day.
If you say to me, I don't care if I hear you, then we're all good. Do you know what I mean?
That's the way I see it. Like Jack said the other day, like he heard me doing it, and I was like, I just don't care. Like I sit there and think, why am I going to stress about it? Because it's just normal, it's natural, isn't it?
It's one of the boys, isn't it? Who cares?
It's just like, yeah, I'm just going, go on, Jack.
Go on, boy. Go on.
Luckily for him, he lasts like 2 minutes. So he's done quick. He's done in 2 minutes anyway, so luckily it doesn't affect my sleep and that. But yeah, the walls are quite thin here. Even I noticed next door, she was fucking singing the other day. Like, trying to fall asleep, love. The washing machine last night. You hit next door's washing machine.
It is thin. The walls are.
Fucking sound like I don't know. Sound like it's going off. Would you rather give 99% of a blowjob or a final 1%?
Well, you've just given away how long I last, so the 99 wouldn't be actually that long.
I'd rather suck a dick and then be spaffed on.
Yeah. We can go with that.
Oh, okay, quick one. Who makes the best cream of rice? Now, you know I make good fucking cream of rice, boy. And you come and you go, that smells good. He goes, that smells lovely.
Yeah, but when are we gonna do the whole you make mine, I make yours, and then
we have to do it before prep.
We'll have to do that.
There's no way in hell I'm letting
no one's touching my food and prep.
No, I'm prep. We're not having that.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and then we'll report back. Why don't you train together?
You want my honest opinion? Because Jack takes fucking ages to train. I train. If it's push day, it's about 90 minutes. Pull day, if it's deadlift, 2 hours. Leg day, probably about 2 hours.
If I had my way, it would be like that.
Yeah.
We did have that session, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
That pull session we did.
And that was good.
Yeah, but that was one of the days where things went really well for me. Like, it's kind of just a few of the niggles I've got and stuff. And yeah, I bring them on myself a little bit with my psychology as well. But it would be ideal if we did, because we'd drive to the gym together, be half the petrol.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
We do go in we live together. We go pretty much at the same time to the gym, but we go in separate cars, which it's not a bad thing. I'm not bothered about it, but you know, probably would be nice.
As well, because I ain't listening to drill on the way to the gym.
I'm not listening to whatever you listen to. The more I've got to know, I'm like, you listen to that. Like, if Great Britain go to war, would you go? Nah, I wouldn't. Fuck that. I'm too selfish.
Would they make you go?
Nah.
That's the thing.
Nah.
I ain't going then.
Nah, fuck that.
Got shows to win.
Okay.
After that, then maybe.
Obviously, there are steroid questions in here. Would you ever consider gear? Everyone's always says that, and I know your answer anyway. But
I've given quite a few answers to it, but now it's become even more sort of prevalent now due to like a few deaths in bodybuilding. But I was speaking to AJ about this the other day. Like, obviously, I'm fairly extreme in how all in I am with bodybuilding, so is AJ, so is yourself. If I go down the enhanced route, that sees me going all in enhanced bodybuilding, and that sees me running a lot. And then people say, oh no, you'd be sensible. No, I wouldn't. I'd be wanting to maximise everything as much as I can. I'm not sensible within natural bodybuilding, do you know what I mean? Like, at all. Yeah. So if I went down the enhanced route, that sees me pushing the boundaries a lot. And also the main reason is my family absolutely resent it. Like, so if I was to do that, I'd be kicked out of the Thorburn house. Well, there's the Thorburn family very quickly, so that's probably the main reason.
See, for me, I said it at the end of my 2019 prep that I would go down that route. I was a bit disrespectful towards natural body. I was like, fuck this is shit mentality. I was basically just a sore loser. Then obviously went into lockdowns early 2020, and I didn't want to start it. I was fucking trained out my garage with a wooden squat rack.
It's probably very lucky that it happened then.
Yeah, so it gave me a little bit more time to think about it, and I still get the question now, like, obviously prep's coming up, do I want to go down that route when I've finished? And I'm still thinking about it. Like, I've so many thoughts in my head about it right now, and at the same time, like, yes, I do want to do that because I feel like it's just that continuous progression, and I live and breathe this stuff, and I want to try and reach my potential, because the way I see it with sometimes natural bodybuilding, I can do everything I possibly can to still get that minor progression each year. And I'm thinking, well, why not go the full fucking length and make the most of it? At the same time, I'm thinking, I want to do it for obviously I need to be doing it for myself. Second of all, I'm thinking business as well. Like, I'm a businessman, I want to be successful, and I think that might bring me more opportunity. Now, I know it's not a good way to think, but I promise you, everyone who does social media, who go down that route, thinks about that a little bit. And then I think I've made a good brand, a good business from being natural. Like, I'm not successful at all, but I've made a good fucking career of what I've done so far. I'm just going to be a little fish in a bigger pond if I go down that route. And I'm thinking, will people follow me still? Because I go, you know, there's so many things that I take into consideration there. I do want to do it, but I just need to be realistic and just sit down and think about it. Like, actually sit down and say, right, do I want to do this? Because it's life changing, you know. If I'm going on, I'm staying on. All right. What do users of Ultraflex think of Jack's questionable shouting during sets?
Well, I want to question how, who is it? Scott Jackson Fit. I want to question how Scott Jackson Fit knows this, because he doesn't follow me for a start. He's either doing it to have a pop at me, or he's a little fanboy and he actually watches my stuff but doesn't follow me. How many of those people that would have an issue with training as hard as me? That's what I want to ask. Like, I think most of the people that train hard get it.
Yeah.
I think, and for me, like, some of the noise, I wouldn't choose to do it. It actually helps me with like contractions and stuff like that. But you know, sometimes if I'm just in the groove, I just do it, and like, I'm not doing it for like a prolonged period of time. I'm doing it like a couple of reps at the end of a set. It's like, who gives a fuck? If you actually care about that, you're a bit of a like,
I totally agree.
softy, like, do you know what I mean?
The way I see it is, when I see someone screaming and shouting, like even on the adductor, I know you'll have a big shout on the adductor, but you're doing like 10 and a half plates.
You do 10 plates, don't you?
Yeah, I'm like, I can't even do that, so I've got no right to have a go at someone when I'm doing 6 plates on the adductor and he's doing 10.
It's not one of them where I'm doing it to be obnoxious. Like, I'm not doing it to be like, oh, look at me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I do it because it benefits me.
And lovely winner.
And Scott Jackson, you come down, carry on with the CrossFit. I've had a little look at your profile, mate. You might want to get one of these waist trainers on as well, because that waist is looking thick.
We saw that 120 squat.
120. I remember when I was 8.
He's probably gonna follow me now. What's your favourite split over the years and why? You've done the same split for a while though. You've never changed.
I've done push pull legs for years. I did do a bro split when I was like coming up, all the way until I actually started competing, really. As long as you're training hard and everything to failure, providing you're recovering, any split works. Yeah. Like, I could run a bro split now and I'd still grow off it, because ultimately a lot of the time the volume is fairly equal. Like, if I did a bro split, I'd probably be giving chest the same volume that I am now, because I'd be doing a lot more in that one session as opposed to how it's split during the 2 push sessions I do, for example.
What will we do this year in terms of prep? Will you take rest, or will you kind of...
No, I'll do exactly what I am now.
Okay.
Yeah. So I won't change. I won't, like, I'm still I'm resting every 4th day, which a lot of people would argue is still, you know, not enough. But yeah. So at the moment, push pull legs rest, push pull legs rest. It seems to be going fairly well.
My favourite split is probably a push pull legs, or legs push pull, or even legs off push pull. I quite like that. Either side of rest day on the leg day.
Yeah.
But saying that, I've been enjoying, now I'm doing push pull legs, I'm enjoying training like 3 days in a row, because I feel like on the rest day when I have lower food, going into that leg day, I don't know why, I now feel like I've got more energy now. I'm eating my train day food the day before. I don't know, strange. Right, 1 tip each for first time competitors.
1 tip?
I'll just give them 1, because you said any tips.
Well, you can fire off quite a few. Like, give yourself enough time. I think as a first time competitor, that's even more prominent. Like, you think you only need to lose a certain amount, you've probably got another £10, probably more, to lose.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot can change. I mean, my prep in 2019 was £25. I look like a completely different person. I lost £50. But get yourself a coach, do that. That's the easiest thing. Take the stress off yourself doing it. And also, I had a heated debate on Instagram about this a while back. Like, I've always said, get 5 years of training underneath your belt, because a lot of people nowadays compete because it's just. We said this on the podcast as well. Like, compete because you enjoy bodybuilding. Don't compete because every other fucker is just competing. You need to do it, because I've seen tons of people. I still see it now. They compete and they lose the love of bodybuilding. They never fuck. How many people you see online? They compete. You never hear from them ever again.
If you want to fall out of love with bodybuilding, do a show after training for a year and realise you can't hack dieting, and then you just resent everything about body. Like, the amount of people are doing this, and sorry, a lot of the time it is female competitors as well, but that's probably down to the fact that they have to go so low on their food, so fair play to them. Some of them and this is males as well, training for a year, 2 years, decide they want to do a show to boost their social media, diet on really low food because they probably haven't got enough muscle to need a lot of food, and then they just hate everything about the sport.
Another thing I'd also say is like just make sure your life's in a good position as well, because if you're on the brink of breaking up with your girlfriend, like it's probably not best to go into a prep which is very, very selfish. Like you need to be in a good place with work, like especially if you're not making money from bodybuilding. Don't be fucking quitting your job to then, you know, want to compete, because the way I see it is when you're competing, you're playing with your hormones, so your decision making, when we look back at our preps, like, how many times you see online people like, who was that guy on my prep? I didn't know who that was. Who is that guy? It's because you're playing with your hormones. You're a different person. I was a different person in 2019 compared to what I am now. So you just need to make sure that your life is good, you're financially in a good position, because it's expensive as well. Prepping is not fucking cheap. You also need to make sure that you're not on the brink of any bad relationships. You need to make sure that you're in a good spot before you even start competing. Like I wouldn't even think about if you was fucking, you know, not in a good job or whatever.
And that's one of the reasons kind of why we're up here, just to put ourselves in the best environment.
Yeah,
we're both in a pretty good situation, just in everything to do with life. We've come here to remove quite a few stressors, just make life a lot easier. So that's one of the reasons why we're here. So I got one.
Go on then.
Who would win in a scrap between me and you?
So you're a big lump, but I know your weaknesses. Like he'll bang his leg on something and he'll get fucking. I know, like I could bang him in places that will probably.
Well, you know where I'm bruised up from training.
Yeah, so I'll go for your weaknesses, but I think physically you, but I think agility, me.
What about charity boxing match?
Fuck that, I've already got someone on a fight.
Oh, he's fucking going down already.
Most annoying habit you've noticed about the other person whilst living together? What's one thing that annoys you so far with me? And there must be one thing, surely. Don't say nothing.
Yeah, but the thing is, so it's not you.
Just say it, whatever's on your tongue.
No, it's the fact that the dog brings dirt in the house.
Okay, yeah, that's
so it's not you, and that annoys you as well.
Yeah.
And it's not
the hair.
It's not anyone's fault, really, is it? Like I'm used to living with a little dog who doesn't molt. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you know, you just got to take that. You obviously heard that we're talking about it.
For me, I'd probably say this is mine. It's getting up at 5:30, like 30 minutes before I actually get up. Jack, see, this is what happens. Jack gets up at 5:30, which is fine, and prepares his meals, which is great. When you wake up like 30 minutes before your alarm, you think, oh, fuck, it's 30 minutes, and then you struggle to fall back to sleep again, knowing that you're getting up in 30 minutes time. That's all I would say. And obviously the stairs are fucking creaky.
Yeah, I do try to be quiet.
We do, but
what are you going to do when I start doing the half fours? I do try and be quiet, man, because I don't hear you good on the stairs.
No, but I try and be quiet. I try and skip steps. Have you stopped the podcast? No, we're recording this Thursday, so we'll be back. We'll be back.
Is it normal for your woods to bend left like Roberto Carlos's free kick versus France? My bend's to the left.
See, when I was younger, I used to wank like that, and now my willy's bent.
Oh, well, do you know, I'm thinking that.
The girls like that, they say.
Because it
goes, it's the spot better.
Yeah.
So
I always fall to the left naturally.
The yeah.
But then I'm thinking, if you tug with your right hand, it would make sense that it curves to the right, though, wouldn't it?
What do you make with?
Right.
I do left.
You're left-hander?
Yeah, I'm lefty.
That's the income off this YouTube.
Yeah, that's all gone.
Down.
Am I missing Max? Yes, I am. I'll see him very soon. Hi, Max. Are you watching this? Yeah. When was the last time you missed a meal? Must be fucking years.
I actually can't tell. I couldn't tell you.
I tell you what, I'm very consistent, like I don't miss meals very often, like once, but I've never seen you ever, since I've been here, you've not missed a beat.
When I leave the house, if I know it's going to be over an hour, I've got a meal with me, always. Yeah. Like, I have this little, have you seen it? The little sandwich bag out.
Yeah, no, I took a photo of you.
Yeah.
He was going to his missus for one night, and he looked like he was going away for about fucking a week.
Looked like Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, always bag.
No, I've got this little, like a satchel over the shoulder sandwich bag, and I've taken that on me everywhere. Like, it's been to my sister's graduation. I have two actually, because I colour coordinated it with my blue outfit. It sounds bad. I've taken it in the back of a hearse as well, taken it to funerals and stuff. So I don't, and that's more of like an ego thing as well, just because I refuse to ever, like, I will never miss a meal. Like,
I'm going to a funeral next Friday and I'm bringing my fucking stuff with me. There's no way in hell I'm going off plan. Why do I need to? I'm so close to prep right now. I've got no room for error. You know, I can't miss a beat with that.
And it's things like that. People worry about what other people think and stuff. It's like, what does it matter to them? It's not causing them any issues at all. So just people always love an opinion, innit? They just always, I don't know. Do you ever have a laugh between sets exercises, or are we all serious? Watch the videos, like you'd see we have a good laugh and shit. I'm awful for it. Like when I know it's time to sort of do a set, I can really switch it on. But like between sets, providing I have a good session, if I'm having a stinker, then then I probably won't say a word. But I can like bounce around between sets and stuff, like I would chat and that. You're like 50-50, I'd say.
50-50. Sometimes I don't want to talk to it. I have this unapproachable face.
Yeah.
Like you may see it sometimes, like don't fucking approach me. And even this guy come up to me, so you see in one of my recent videos, like you looked unapproachable. I was like, yeah, I know, because I'm so fucking locked into the zone. So sometimes I think I'll talk to you after I've trained, but when I'm training, I'm there to train. I'm not there to fucking talk about.
Potentially that might be why my sessions are extended a little longer than they should be. Maybe because I'm bouncing around. Just, I don't know.
We'll finish on this one. Long-term goal within bodybuilding for both of you. Would you want to be a pro?
I always said I wanted to go pro. Yeah, without sounding arrogant, I don't think that's too far away. But I've thought about it before, and the problem is, if I was to go pro, say like this year, you're in the pro leagues now. You can only compete as a pro.
Yeah.
So that means you can't do any of these amateur shows in the UK. So for a start, that limits the amount of shows you can do massively.
Yeah.
You are also at the bottom of a very, like, pretty good pool.
Yeah.
So
fuck.
like the top boys in natural bodybuilding, you got to step your game up if you want to be competing there. So that sees me not being competitive for a fair few years. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of takes the fun element of competing for a fair few years. Like, don't get me wrong, I still love bodybuilding and I still love the progressive side of it, but that means I can't be competitive on a bodybuilding stage for a fair few years. You know, it does, doesn't it? Like, and it's the same when people turn pro in the IFBB.
Yeah.
Like, people think, oh, I've got my pro card. Well, yeah, well done. That might literally be you done bodybuilding for the rest of your life, because you may have like scraped that pro card, done like the last show of the year after competing 10 times, and no one turned up to your show. So you're not really good enough. He'll probably see this, and he won't mind me saying it because he knows it's true. That's kind of what happened to Cuba. Kind of. He competed at a show where the talent wasn't amazing, and he's had to take a lot of time out. And luckily, he's responded really well, and he's stepped his game up massively. And he's realised he wasn't as good. He wasn't genetically blessed. A lot of these people were, and he's had to which is why he's so like technical with everything he does. You know, most pros aren't doing that. You know, there are very few that you can name. There are a couple that are. Yeah. But he's realised that, and now like he's set himself goals, and he will be competitive soon. I bet that kills him really. That he went from being one of the top boys in the UK amateur to then. You know, luckily his socials are kind of kept him relevant and stuff, because without that, you know, if you're not competing and doing well, people kind of think, oh, who am I then? You know what I mean?
And so many pros that don't do any social media sort of stuff. So my question for you then is, would you rather be a top level amateur, or would you rather be a shit pro just so you got your pro card?
That's a very good question. If it was IFBB, I'd probably take the pro card.
Yeah.
Because no one's taking that away from you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's up on your wall, that's never coming down. Natural pro card, most people don't really give a fuck.
No.
They probably just think, oh, it's the same as, you know, Miami Pro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like main 10 natural pros.
Yeah.
Like,
so I don't know. Because I love the competitive side of it as well.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to be competitive at shows that I do. Don't get me wrong, it'd be quite cool if you're a pro, because then you can potentially go over the pond and compete in America and stuff like that. But you might go over there and get your ass kicked every year for a fair few years, you know?
True.
So
me, I just want to, my long-term goal is just to be the best version of myself, and it's just continuous progression. I'm very realistic in the sense that I know what I can and what I can't achieve. I'm very realistic. I'll never be like a top professional bodybuilder, but as long as I'm just continuing to progress up the ladder, and hopefully just by watching the videos, I'll search my name 5 years ago and look at where I was there to where I am now. Just that continuation of just being better, and that's all I should be promote. That's all I would say. We've fucking waffled on loads, so I'm gonna end that there. Don't know how long that is, but I hope it's whilst you're eating your food, or I don't know, doing your cardio or something, killed some time. As always, thank you for the questions. I really appreciate it. And follow us on Instagram, GeorgeOsborne12, and yours is
Jack_Thorburn.
Jack_Thorburn. And as always, what can we call them down below?
Snake.
Yeah.
I'm a snake.
Lots of love. Bye.